Bugha has recently updated quite a lot of his Fortnite settings to achieve the best visibility.
I view distance on medium just because whenever you're gliding in, you can use this to like see weapons.
The best sensitivity.
Low targeting and scope just for like surge and stuff like that.
And the best movement.
My binds.
Oh, as well, he's completely reworked his setup to include some of his favourite peripherals from the past.
This is my setup tour.
But starting off with his video settings first, his windowed mode is still on full screen, he's still on 1920 by 1080 with default resolution, his frame rate limit is set at 240 FPS to match his monitor's refresh rate, his rendering mode is on performance mode to get the lowest FPS, his brightness is on the default 100%, his colorblind is off, he currently doesn't use one, his view distance is on medium, his textures are on low to get the most FPS, and he also has his high resolution textures turned off. As well as that, he's also got his meshes set to low to get more FPS, and he's got his show FPS on. For his game options, he's got toggle sprint turned on, auto open doors turned on, his movement is on hold sprint, he's got auto pick up weapons turned off, he's got auto consumables to the right turned off as well, his reset building choice is off, his disable pre-edit option is off, and his confirm edit on release is turned on. He's also got tap to search / interact turned on. For his game UI, his reticle is obviously on, his reticle ammo indicator is turned on, his damage numbers are on list, his damage feedback is off completely, and his damage number scale is on 100%, his HUD scale in itself is on 75%, and all of his HUD options are pretty much on the default ones that have always been on. For his mouse and keyboard sensitivities, his X sense is currently on 5.8%, same with his Y X sensitivity, however he does sometimes put it up to 6%. For his targeting sense, that is on 30.3%, and his scope sense is on 39.2%, and all these sensitivities right here are on 800 mouse DPI and 1000 Hz. Oh, and for his double movement right here, his forward diagonal angle is on 55%, his strafe is on 90%, and his backward diagonal angle is on 135%. For his controller options, here they are on screen, but it doesn't really matter because he rarely plays controller. He is primarily on mouse and keyboard. For his audio options, he's got his sound quality on high, his 3D headphones are off, and his visualize audio is turned on. And moving on to his keybinds, here they are on screen. As you can see here, for his sprint bind, it's a bit of the weird one. That is on his front mouse button, like on the side button. His use key is on E, and he also has the mouse wheel reset on his scroll wheel. His harvesting tool is on 1, his slot 1 is on 2, slot 2 is on 3, slot 3 is on 4, slot 4 is on 5, and then slot 5 is on 6. As for his building, his wall is on X, his floor is on V, his stairs is on C, his roof is on left shift, and his trap is on T. And for his rotate building, that's on G, and his building edit bind is on F. Oh, finally as well, his switch bar, which he actually does use, is on his mouse button, but it's on the back one. And moving on to his setup, here's what it looks like on screen, and you can see there's actually a few past peripherals that he used like years ago that he's actually brought back, which is quite interesting. The mouse that he's using is the Logitech G Pro X Superlight mouse in the colour pink. His mouse pad is the Zowie GSRSE in deep blue. His keyboard is the SteelSeries Apex Pro in the 10 keyless. I believe it's the old one as well. His headset, I believe, is the Sennheiser X-Drop EPOS PC38X gaming headset. And for his monitor, that is the Asus ROG Swift PG259QN. And for his gaming specs, here they are on screen. He's got a really good Intel CPU, one of the best ones, the i9. He's got the RTX 4090, 32GB of RAM, a 2TB SSD, and he's also got some insane fiber internet as well. Next up, we've got his NVIDIA settings, and most of these settings are from this video on screen, which I will have a link to in the description below. Now for his NVIDIA settings here, under the manage 3D settings, I'll just slowly scroll through it, and you can see he's got them pretty much optimized to a T to get the lowest amount of input delay. But one thing that's worth mentioning is inside of the adjust desktop color size, I believe Bugha is currently using a digital vibrance of 75%. As for his NVIDIA drivers, he could be using an older driver, which it could be any of these popular drivers on screen right now, or he could be using the latest driver. Next, we've got his Epic Game Launcher settings. Now, if you go into the Epic Games Launcher, it's very important that you uncheck the desktop notifications because they can cause lag spikes. As well as that, I'm pretty sure Bugha will have these three options inside of the additional command line arguments to get more FPS, lower ping, and a ton more. In addition to that, inside of the Fortnite launch options in themselves, I'm pretty sure he's got this exact config. I don't think he has the high resolution textures enabled, and also believe he's got the DirectX 12 option unchecked, as he's not using that, he's using performance mode. And finally, I believe he's got the disable cosmetic streaming actually checked, as that does actually have a ton of benefits that I explain in this video on screen right now, link in the description below. Moving on, we've got his Windows settings, and if you follow these steps on screen right here and go into the Epic Games Launcher sort of like config into the engine file itself and paste in this can actually help you download updates a lot faster. Then in addition to that, if you tick the game mode option right here, you'll get more FPS. Same with the hardware acceleration GPU scheduling, give that a tick and select the specific game you want, and make sure all the background applications are unchecked and they are not running. And finally, customize the performance options to be these on screen right here, as these are the most optimal ones. And then finally, as a rule of thumb, when the game is open, you can also set the priority to high to get even more FPS. And finally, we've got his network settings. Now these aren't 100% his, but they're very good and optimal. If you go into the network connections, under the change adapter options, select your network connection, mine's Ethernet cable, and then put in a custom DNS. It can be either one of these on screen that are very popular. You can actually do this command in the CMD to check if it's the best one for you. This can indeed lower your ping. But that right there was all of Bugha's updated Fortnite settings that I thought I'd share. If the video helped out, feel free to drop a like on it, drop a sub on the channel, and use either my code or Bugha's code in the item shop. Catch us all in the next one. Thanks for watching. Peace.